Hi everyone, my name is Peter. Thanks for joining me at Our Worship Sound, where we're making worship keyboard technique and technology easier. This video is going to be a little bit different. Most of the time when I'm teaching these videos is something that I've not only played for a long time, but I've also taught it for a while, and I've really learned to refine the language and the way that I communicate about it to make it simple. This one I haven't really taught as much, okay, or at all. Okay, this is going to be a concept called voice leading, and I'm going to need your help in knowing what's helpful, what doesn't make sense, and learn to refine it so we can make a clearer way to go about this. But this is something that we talk about in like college music theories classes, and we talk about how to arrange chords and the range of the notes of them so that they flow well together. Okay, and if you think about vocal harmonies, the best vocal harmonies are ones that sound good on their own. Okay, and they're not jumping all over the place. They're easy to sing, but they also make sense and sound good on their own. And that's kind of what we're trying to create when we play chords on piano too. And it's one reason why chords can sound good one way, but then you hear somebody who's really good and knows how to get around the progression, they make it sound just kind of magical. Okay, so we want to listen for these relationships between the notes and create good voice leading. Okay, the clearest place where we can show this is within the major scale, where we have half steps. Okay, in the C major scale, we have half steps between the E and the F, and then the B and the C, or between the third and fourth scale notes and the seventh and eighth scale notes. And when you play those notes, they naturally want to kind of go to the next one because there's just that half step relationship. So if I play a chord with a B in it, like the G, whether I go to C or F or A minor, anything with a C in it, we want to hear that note resolve to there and not do something like this. That would be considered kind of breaking the rules on voice leading when you take that B, which should resolve to the C, to take it down somewhere else. Okay, so we want to listen for those relationships, especially the half-step relationships. Are they resolving to the next note or not? Okay, so the biggest thing I can tell you in this is just to simply start to listen for the relationships between the notes of one chord to the next, and how are they flowing together to either create interesting and smooth movement, or something that's unexpected, or something that is really just kind of doesn't sound good. Okay, now let me show you this one thing that I thought was kind of interesting as I was getting ready to do this. Let's say I'm going from the 4 chord to the 6 chord, F to A minor. Okay, now there's only one note that's different from F to A minor, and that is the F or E. Okay, so here's F, here's A minor. Okay, the simplest voice leading would be just to keep these notes the same and resolve the F to the E, and I could do that something like this with these inversions. Okay, because that F wants to resolve to the E. But if I do something like this, my first thought is, well, that's kind of breaking the rules because we don't go from that to that. But if you listen, it is still actually satisfied, because even though the E isn't on top, it's still in there, and we're still resolving that. It's just that I'm changing the top note to a different thing. Okay, so that's kind of an unexpected way to create the voice leading and resolve that note, but still create interest other ways. Okay, now one thing I want to point out in these chords is, and I've said this before, your ear's always going to be drawn to the top note of your chords. Okay, so what our ears hear is, even though we are still resolving that note as part of the chord. So again, that's maybe more of a complex relationship, but you are still resolving it, but it's going in a different place melodically. So it's just something to think about, something to kind of explore. Okay, and then one final thing I want to leave you with is, it's not just about from one chord to the next, but it's about the whole progression. So look for opportunities to create lines throughout the progression. I'm going to take a chord progression that's F, G, A minor, and C with an alternate bass. So just a simple 4, 5, 6, 1 with alternate bass progression. And I could do it something like this. And that's perfectly acceptable. But there is a melody line in here that I really like to bring out, and it's this. Listen to the top notes here. Just a nice line to bring out, okay? And you don't have to play triads. It doesn't have to be 3-note chord, 3-note chord, 3-note chord. It could be something like this. Okay. And that's something different than what I would normally play, but just thinking in terms of voice leading got me to that place. Got me to that place where I'm just really trying to bring out that line and do it in a different way. And so that's really kind of what I'm after with this video, is just to try to kind of get you outside of what you normally think about when you're playing progressions. It's not just about how, mathematically, how does this work together, but just starting to listen for how these notes interact in different ways. And it's more complex and it takes some time to get used to. But if you start to listen for those relationships, I guarantee you're gonna pick up on some things, and it's gonna take your playing in a different place, I think. So anyway, try that out. Let me know what works. Let me know what's confusing. Let me know how we can make this easier and more clear. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.